In tonight's episode of Emmerdale, Dawn's secret plan to abandon Joe on their wedding day is put in serious danger. After Graham discovers what has been happening behind Joe's back, Dawn is left wondering whether she can still get away. Meanwhile, Dawn isn't the only character facing trouble. Caleb and Ruby are forced to give answers when Jimmy confronts them over their betrayal. Here are 5 major moments to expect from Monday's episode. On the morning of the wedding, Graham becomes suspicious after Lucas casually reveals that Dawn had intended to leave the village. Although Graham reassures Joe that everything will go according to plan, he begins questioning Lucas about Dawn's secret. Despite Dawn's warning, Lucas accidentally reveals details of her escape plan. Kim has also returned to Home Farm after being away, making Dawn feel even more cornered. With Kim determined to keep a close eye on the wedding arrangements, Dawn worries that escaping will be almost impossible. Eventually, Dawn cleverly brings up a memory involving her dad as part of a scheme to keep Kim occupied and away from her. Dawn secretly packs her belongings into the car outside the Home Farm stables, only to panic when Graham arrives and blocks her escape. She explains why she has decided to break Joe's heart, arguing that Billy's attack has made it impossible for her to trust him. However, Graham challenges Billy's version of events, questioning how Billy could have identified his attacker when the assault happened from behind. While his doubts make Dawn reconsider what she has been told, she refuses to let Graham control her plans. To prevent him from interfering any further, Dawn knocks him unconscious. Because the wedding ceremony is not scheduled until later in the day, Joe heads to the Woolpack with the villagers for some drinks before the ceremony. Caleb is forced to keep his temper under control as Joe deliberately taunts him at the pub. But when their argument becomes increasingly heated and Joe takes away Caleb's invitation to the wedding, the depot boss decides there is no reason to delay his secret revenge plan any longer. Could his actions put Billy and Dawn's plans at risk? Jimmy later confronts Caleb and Ruby after discovering that they worked alongside Kev to sabotage his latest business deal. Caleb and Ruby admit that they were prepared to do whatever was necessary to persuade Jimmy to hand over his stake in the haulage company. With their betrayal exposed, Caleb and Ruby offer Jimmy a bribe in return for keeping quiet. But will Jimmy accept their offer and agree to keep their secret? Serena Starr reveals which Emmerdale icon she had a crush on as a child, and he's still on the show. Not long after Serena arrived in the village, it was revealed that she is a distant relative of Robert Sugden. Since her debut scenes with Charity Dingle in June, Serena has already found herself crossing paths with several of Emmerdale's most recognizable characters. With so many legendary faces around her, Casey Al-Shaksi admitted that joining the soap could sometimes feel overwhelming. During an interview about settling into her new role, the actress explained that meeting one particular cast member left her feeling especially nervous. Casey revealed that she was surprisingly starstruck when she first met Kane Dingle. She explained that she normally feels comfortable speaking to everyone, but seeing Kane left her unusually quiet. She introduced herself and said she was excited to work with him, although she felt awkward because she was thinking about how iconic he was. She also admitted that she had a crush on him when she was younger. The actress recalled another memorable moment while filming the christening scenes. When she watched the footage back, she was relieved that her nerves were not obvious on screen. By that point, she had already spent around 2 weeks on set and had enjoyed working with many of the cast, including Emma Atkins, so she had started to feel comfortable. However, everything changed when she arrived for the christening. Surrounded by members of the Dingle family, as well as other major characters, Casey suddenly felt overwhelmed. She admitted that she even asked whether she could sit down before eventually having to leave the room because she found the situation so intense. Being surrounded by such an iconic family made her feel physically nervous. Casey explained that she had always admired the Dingles and respected the actors involved, which made the experience even more overwhelming. She described it as the only time she had ever felt that way, although she recognized that it was simply a particularly big day for her. Casey also revealed that she had never actually told Jeff Hordley about having a childhood crush on him. However, after discussing it publicly, there is little chance that the Emmerdale star does not know about it now. When Serena first arrived in the village, she claimed that reconnecting with her family was her main reason for coming to Emmerdale. However, recent episodes have uncovered another important motivation behind her arrival. It has now emerged that DS Thea Ramsden, who is investigating Dr. Caitlin Todd's death, is actually one of Serena's close friends. Serena also appears to have a connection with the Tate family, while Thea has been encouraging her to break into Home Farm and search for evidence that could potentially bring down Kim Tate. Casey explained that Serena and Thea share a very close friendship. Serena initially came to the village because she wanted to reconnect with her relatives and build stronger relationships with her family. However, before arriving, she told her best friend about her plans, and Thea asked Serena to do her a favor. While Serena is dealing with her own problems, she continues to put someone else's needs ahead of her own. She is gathering information for Thea, although the exact reason behind the request remains unclear. Serena also had no idea that Thea was involved in the investigation when she first arrived. The situation becomes increasingly complicated once Thea turns up in the village. Serena feels that her friend's presence is making an already difficult situation even harder. Casey explained that Serena did not choose to keep Thea's involvement secret, but she respects Thea's wishes and tries to protect the secret. At the same time, Serena becomes frustrated because Thea is now working on a case that directly affects her. Her friend's investigation puts Serena in an extremely uncomfortable position, creating the potential for plenty of conflict between the pair. Looking ahead, Casey suggested that Serena's biggest problem is that she constantly puts other people first. She pointed out that Serena is always helping others, while very few people seem to do anything for her beyond giving her somewhere to stay. Although Thea does offer Serena some support, Casey suggested that there is also something Thea wants in return. Serena is also expected to face tension with Sarah, while problems within her own family, particularly with Brian, could create even more difficulties. Casey described Serena as someone who does not exactly lie, but instead chooses not to reveal the entire truth. She tells people what is technically true while leaving important details out, and that habit has repeatedly caused problems for her. Serena knows that hiding information has hurt people before, yet she now finds herself keeping another secret. The difference this time is that the secret does not belong to her, it belongs to Thea. Emmerdale airs on ITV1 every weekday evening at 8 p.m. and is also available to stream on ITVX.